Alright, hello everyone. My name is Ben Mullen. Today I'll be presenting what is so special about human life and when does human life begin. And in this presentation, I'm going to be going over what exactly the definition of life is, what's unique about life itself, and also what's unique about human life. I will be discussing two different viewpoints, so there's a theistic viewpoint and an atheistic viewpoint. Obviously, their ideologies are going to vary on this subject. I'm also going to be going over what science says about everything and when does human life actually begin. So what science says in both of those subjects. Yeah, I would just like to start off exactly defining what life is. In an article I read, they defined life as a chemical matter gives rinse in a specific way to an autonomous, self-regulating, and self-reproducing system. A self-reproducing system, that is a crucial point. So there's many things that differentiate living matter with non-living matter. I guess a better way to propose the question would be, what are characteristics that living matter possess that non-living matter does not possess? That could be breathing, adaptation, senses, emotions, things of that nature. But the most crucial and most important one is reproduction. That is by far the most unique thing that living matter possesses, and that's two older living organisms combining to make one completely new living organism. It is a very beautiful thing that life possesses, and it's very, very unique to everything else. And life's all around us. It's more than just humans and animals, of course. There's plants, fungi, things of that nature. But what makes human life so special? So the number one thing that makes human life so special is consciousness. So it's kind of hard to explain, but like we see it's more than just our brain and our mind and our instincts. We have deeper understanding and deeper reasoning as to what we are, why we're here, why we exist, what is everything. You won't see a hedgehog contemplating like why he exists or why the universe the way it is. Consciousness is kind of just this insane, infinite, mind-boggling phenomenon that humans possess, which also dives into morality and reason. So humans have morals. It's not just so much like an instinctual, like we know what's right or wrong. We have like a deeper reasoning. Like we don't just think with our mind. We think of like our conscious mind, which is what's acceptable and what's not acceptable through morals and reason. Humans also, they possess a spirit and a soul. So humans possess the ability to go somewhere after death, which cannot be said through other animals. We have a mind, we have a body, and we also have a third part, which is a soul or spirit. Humans are also inherently social, orally social, or we like to take part in community, which is also unique to specifically humans as opposed to other life. Just some atheistic viewpoints, so obviously commonly known that atheism, they view humans as no other than more intelligent, more sophisticated, more adapted animals, and there's not really a difference between us two besides that we're just more adapted. And they also believe that consciousness is more of just a chemical reaction as opposed to like this deeper meaning. We're just in this facade, this mist, that consciousness is just a chemical reaction. They also believe that morals are relative. They're kind of, it's not just, morals aren't this absolute divine thing that are slammed upon us. There's kind of like this thing, it's just like, we're born, we kind of think what is right, and it's all dependent on the eye of the beholder. There's problems with this because there's cultures out there that accept murder, rape, kidnapping, things of that nature. Things where if anyone saw it, they'd be like, hey, that's very wrong. Even atheists, they would say like, they saw it, they'd be like, that is not okay. But it's contradictive to prosecute or condemn that person committing these acts because that's just what they saw was morally correct in their eyes. So if you have this mindset where it's like, okay, everything is morally relative and it's acceptable in the eye of the beholder, but there's obviously things that are morally wrong with humans, like just like divine moral reasonings. Babies are something I'll dive into more. Is babies are considered human whenever it's more convenient for the person giving birth, and that's what I'd like to talk about. When does human life begin? So research and science indicates that life begins at fertilization. It's common for these abortionist and atheism followers that it's kind of the human is human whenever it's convenient. If that makes sense. So it's people who commit abortion. They cope by saying it's not human yet because the brain isn't developed or they're not 6 months old yet. But abortion is never acceptable under any circumstances because no matter how you look at it, science or religion, you are ending the life of a defenseless baby. And just to wrap everything up, human life is more precious than we give it granted for. I feel like it's kind of a cultural trend to say humans are trash, humans are terrible, we're the same as dogs or animals. Animals should be treated equally, if not higher, than humans. But it's the other way around. Humans are so much more precious, they're so much more beautiful, there's so much more to us. We have a divine reason. God gave us, we're all made in God's image. Human life should be treated more sacred. Another cultural trend where we're kind of just trashing humans and our bodies and saying they're not important. Our lives and humans and our community are so much more important than our culture is giving us credit for. Also, abortion should not be accepted in any part of culture because no matter how you look at it, it is a murder. We have made strides to make, with Roe versus Wade being overturned, we've made strides to making abortion a little more, there's more pushback. It's no longer as accepted as it has been in the last few decades, which I think is a great step. And overall, I just think abortion is kind of brushed over too lightly, and I think our society really needs to reflect on what abortion actually is and what this action is committing. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Ben.